Hello and welcome to Cuppa Time. I'm thrilled to be with you today and just as much thrilled to have Diane with me. So hi Diane.
Hi Fiona.
Nice to see you. It's been a while trying to get hold of you because you're always so busy.
I know. Even in lockdown it seems to be a busy time, doesn't it?
Yeah. So purpose of Cuppa Time, do you have a favourite cup that you could share with us and the reason why it is your favourite?
I do. I'm holding it here in my hand.
Oh,
gorgeous butterfly. And I love the butterfly itself. This mug was actually bought for me by a lovely friend as a gift.
Yeah.
And I love butterflies anyway. They do represent change. And what the gold scripture at the bottom of this says, be you and be free. And it tastes, any drink I drink out of this, which is invariably coffee, it always tastes gorgeous. And that's sort of an underlying motto of mine, really.
Yeah.
Just be yourself and be free. And in all the work that I do, that's what I encourage people to find that point. Whether it's private or in the bigger picture, you know.
Yeah.
So
being your genuine self, not sort of a fake or a odd version of yourself just to please others.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing is we're all raised with learned behaviour. We all do what we've been taught, don't we? That's how we start to become the person that we are. From tiny little baby, from day dot, we just copy and like sponges, and then we all just unfold from there. And I think what comes with that, as fabulous as that can be sometimes, we adopt other people's behaviour and other people's beliefs and other people's patterns. And as we move through life, you can, you know, what I witnessed with myself on my journey as well as other people I work with now, it's like they're uncomfortable with themselves and they don't know why. And it's like they're in an hourglass and they're just, and all this uncomfortableness as they're growing through life actually can, not does, but can manifest in ways of upsetting current intimate relationships, i.e. close family, partners, etc. And it can create a whole catastrophic form of events because as they continue to grow, they're growing through life with other people's beliefs and patterns rather than being able to identify them or have the tools or the person around them who can just highlight that in gentle, easy, safe ways and take them on that process to let that go if that process is needed. And for some people as well, just the awareness of, you know, like us Brits, and particularly we're both from the north, there's no getting away from that with our accents, and I'm quite proud to say. But one of the things that's definitely said in the north is I sound just like my mother, you know. Now my mother was Scottish, so I don't technically sound like her. Even although I've been raised by her, I could never decide. Her accent sounded Yorkshire to me, but definitely distinctive Scottish accent. But for many years, and I mean, she was absolutely beautiful. But I remember years and years after she died, I heard myself saying, I'm just like my mum, or even one coffee cup. My mother always used to drink her tea. She'd drink tea. And she always used to drink it out of the same cup. And we had huggings of mugs and cups and tea china and the best, this big cabinet with all these gorgeous, beautiful china dinner services and everything. She always had to have the same cup. And I'm like, why? And she said, because it just tastes nice. It just tastes nice. And I found, at one point in my years and years ago, I found myself doing that. And I was just reaching for this same cup. And all of a sudden, it was sort of going on subconsciously. And then one day I just thought, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And it was irritating me before I realised it was actually irritating me. And whilst it was her and she was gorgeous, but I just didn't need to do that anymore. And that's one of the sort of obvious, simple things, you know, and it can just play out on a vast scale. So being free and be you is, it's so liberating. It's not about letting the person go or being any less respectful towards them. It's just about cultivating a deeper sense of self, and it's okay to piece that jigsaw together.
So in terms of you yourself, rather than learned behaviour that you've got from other people, what is it that you do in your life generally that helps you keep uplifted day to day?
Well, I actually think I was born with a lot of resilience. And I think as I've moved through my life, I've acquired a great appreciation for the amount of resilience that I've got. And I do believe that serves me really well.
Mm-hmm.
However, about 15 years ago, I was on a critical journey in my life, and at a poignant place on the recovery of that health blip, and it was a health blip, I was introduced formally to mindfulness practice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited about, I knew I was surrounded by people, excuse me, who were mindful. And I knew some of the meditations and practices were, well, even when I was introduced to it, I didn't know the difference between mindfulness and meditation, to be honest. I just found that meditation worked for me. So I just, initially it was a bit of a struggle, but I kept going back for some reason, which was obviously a soul calling. And then through that process, and as time moved on and I came out the emergence of my journey at that stage in life, I was invited to be formally taught mindfulness, and I was so excited about learning this new thing.
Uh-huh.
And then when I got there, it was like, oh, well, I've sort of done that. I mean, I live like that, and that's how I think, and that's how I don't talk, and that's, you know, all those things, that even just the presence of mind to be quiet, knowing when not to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it gave me was a framework of vocabulary and processes around how I actually live. And I will share this. Although I have a lot of people around me in my workspace, people like yourself who
Mm-hmm.
come forward and supported and helped, and a lot of other people who contribute to what I do. So I do feel as though I've always got a lot of people, not a lot, but the amount of people required in my circle to allow me to do the work that I do and we do as a collective. But I'm very aware and very comfortable with the fact that I'm very solace, and I spend a lot of time on my own.
Yeah, and you probably need that to sort of be able to focus going forwards, having that solace and that time for yourself. Have you been doing a bit more of that at the moment because we're in lockdown, or has that been about the same as usual?
No, it's actually been more. So at first it was fine because I sort of come from a witnessing sort of state anyway, and I was sort of prepared for the eventuality of lockdown, and thought this is going to be really interesting to see how the world responds to this. But it's also going to bring up a lot. But it's been a fantastic journey so far, and there's a mindful practice that we call being in the hourglass, which is, you know, when you get into that really tight spot with yourself where you just think, you know, and wherever you're in that tight spot, you're actually heading for a breakthrough. And I found that tight spot a couple of times, which is, and knowing what it is has helped me. And yet, although I spend a lot of time in my office, spend a lot of time on my own, just not having that choice and to step, and I have got a garden here, so I've been utilising that on good days and get out for a little walk every day. But just having the choice of freedom taken away, I realised a few weeks into it that I actually felt violated by that, and it raised some emotion of anger, and not that I needed to express anything, but I could tell that it was inside. I was quite frustrated, and then I got to quickly pause it. I thought, I'm angry with this. Why the heck? You know, is this 2020 a global thing? But being in that hourglass, being aware of the position I was in, because I could assess internally, allowed me to just give space and grace to that, and just have the respect and appreciation that needed for me. Being kind to myself, really, in what is a difficult situation. And all I have to manage is myself, not family. I've no family to manage, nobody, you know, external. But it was a really interesting experience, and I found myself on purpose putting myself into quicker and more succinct meditations. So rather than what is my usual daily practice, I found myself, my default was just come back, breathe, coming back to my breath, and just separating myself off from those emotions and feelings to be able to just focus on breath. And it gives you that separation again. But the discipline of that default to kick in so quickly I've done. I will share this with you. I've done 1 minute meditations, and I think I've had cups of coffee in the last 5 weeks. So this is fantastic to be able to sit down and have a coffee with you without having to think, 60-second meditation. That'll start it.
So is it generally 1 minute meditations you have, or do you have different lengths of time that you meditate?
Different lengths, and I find that in what I call my full practice, I do a general full practice is a 40-minute meditation per day. But as I move through my day, I can literally hook into it for 10 seconds, and it just gives me that separation that I need from any given situation. And that separation is just the movement of the energy, what's going on, and it brings you clarity and space to think again, and just to reassess.
Yes.
But I find that 1 minute meditations or thereabouts, I tend to sense that it's a minute rather than I don't. Yeah. But 1 minute meditation is an absolute gift, and that's something that I always share with everybody in my meditation classes, because people think it's about emptying your mind and sitting over and like for hours. It's that, honest to God, in some places on this planet where we're less people living, you can do that where you've got the space and the time and the resonance. But a place like London, with thousands of people around us, haven't we? And lots of activity, internal activity, lots of choices, lots of life, lots of layers of stuff. So it's really difficult for some people to start defragging what's going on inside the mind, and taking somebody from all that chaotic thinking to just sit in silence or sit and be guided for 40 minutes. The whole catastrophic experience of being told that or asked that is colossal for some. And sometimes just taking a few moments can be more effective than,
It's like sleeping. Sometimes a little nap serves you better than a longer sleep. So
exactly the same principle. And they call it a power nap, don't they? So really this is like a 1 minute meditation is like a power meditation. It is, because it just lets you restart again and recalibrate. And it does, so effective. I remember the first time somebody said, Di, you can do that in a 1 minute meditation. I went, what? What's a 1 minute meditation? She went 60 seconds. But okay. It was like, start it. And I did. And the first time I implemented it, I was pleasantly surprised at the support that it gave me, and that was years ago. So I just think, it is cultivated naturally as part of my day, but I found in lockdown I've had to literally bring it in on purpose, which has given me a deeper sense of my needs through this journey. Yeah,
wonderful.
A lot hasn't changed, but a lot has, and I've processed a lot of inner stuff as well, which is a really good journey.
Good. So in terms of, that's what you've been doing, and that's really lovely to hear, and I'm sure what you've said will affect and help other people. Is there anything, as we're coming to the end of our chats, is there anything that you might have done in the past or had an experience of that people wouldn't have any inkling about?
Yeah. Well, the one that I'll share with you.
Okay.
It was Boxing Day.
Right.
I was in the Southern Hemisphere, and Boxing Day was more of a celebration than Christmas Day where we live. So all our friends got together, and we hired a boat. I chartered this boat for us to go off just round the islands for Boxing Day evening. Was it Boxing Day or New Year's Eve? I can't remember. It was the night before the tsunami hit, major tsunami.
Right.
And so we were in Western Australia, thousands of kilometres away from Sumatra. And some of us had friends that had come over from the UK, and we'd got local friends, and one of my friend's daughters, it was her 18th, so she had this 18th birthday on this boat. It was a beautiful evening. And the crew were doing the barbecue for us and everything, and we sailed off, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And one thing you did get over there was consistent weather. It was just a beautiful blue sky all the time. And it was midsummer, and we just got a few kilometres offshore, and one of the skippers came to me and said, we've had a weather warning. And he was really confused, because you just don't get weather warnings. It's like hot or it's hot, but not we've had a weather warning and we can't quite decipher what this is. And they couldn't. But because I'd hired the boat, he said, what's your direction? I'm like, hell, what do we need to do? I'm going to take it from you. And he just said, well, so to cut a long story short, quickly, as you turn round, you got the most magnificent sunset and then just this black at this side. And we were all like, wow, fabulous experience, but so unusual. And anyway, so I just said, look, get us back to shore. And he said, well, we're not going to be able to do all what we planned to. I said, I don't care. Safety is the key. Get us back to shore, get us rigged up. We can, if it's safe, we'll stay on the boat and we'll just be there. It doesn't really matter where we are. We're still going to be in together. That getting back to shore proved to be really, really difficult because we were about, it took us over an hour to get 3 kilometres. And what nobody knew until the following morning was a tsunami had broken out in Asia. And the waters had travelled down to Western Australia. So the ocean had risen. And during that day, a couple of people unfortunately lost their lives walking across what usually would be a sandbank to one of the islands at a certain time. And they just fell away in the water and lost their lives. And nobody could understand what had happened. But the plates underneath had shifted and the oceans were rising at the same time, which all became evident the following morning once the news had broken, it had got through. But it took us a long, long time to get back to shore. And of course, the storm hit exactly on 11 minutes, like he said, which I thought was phenomenal that he knew that. And his direction was, because we had a baby on board, we had little children right through to really elderly adults. You know, and it just, the instruction he said, get everything packed away, because we'd brought all his own eskies with booze and everything. And he said, just pack everything away. And get everybody with everything out the way other than prepared to help one another if that comes, because he was just so confused as well. So we did, and everybody went, oh, I'm going round. I got my husband at the time, and I went, get all those glasses out of the hands. We've got footballers on board. You're not having my can. We are now. It's my boat. Do as I say. So we were just whipping the glasses out and the cans and everything, stacking everything away. And when we got to the shore, there was no jetty to align the boat with, to hold us, to hook us down, because the waters was rising and dropping so much. It was really, really scary. And so what we did was, the jetty was there, but it kept filling up and disappearing under the ocean. So we formed a human chain, and that was the only way off. And we all got off. We all made it off the boat through this human chain. And then at the other side, when we were on the jetty, everybody's still keeping that human chain going to make sure that everybody was all right until everything came good. And it was still chucking it down by then, which was an unusual experience again. So we were all just sat on this baking hot pavement, if you like, just in silence. I think everybody at that moment was present, like, what the heck happened? And then, fortunately, we were all safe. And then we all just silently sort of said, we'll catch up soon, and went as our own way. And so I don't, hopefully, not many people will experience that.
No, well, what an experience to have, though. I mean, it's the fact that you did take the advice of the captain, even though he wasn't sure, and you did come in from where you were. Yeah,
if we wouldn't have done that, who knows? You know, we would have probably been out there all night because of the shifting of the plates and the tides and everything. You know, it could have been a different story, but, you know, I'm always one to listen to somebody with more wisdom than me, and you can't mess around on water, you know, and health and safety. We've got all these beautiful people on board. And the next morning, we were actually travelling down south to the southwest Cape and with some friends. And when we got there, we were meeting up with other friends. And when we got there, they said to us, come and look at this, and to look at the TV. And we were like, and then we started piecing the whole jigsaw together of what had happened the night before and the unfortunate people who had lost their lives.
Yes, so, there's definitely moments in time where you will stop and think or remember where you were when these big events have occurred.
Oh yeah, and that's one of them. You know, I mean, it was a global, and the positive out of that disaster was they changed the way that the world communicated in terms of how undercurrent, how volcanoes erupt and how national and international disasters happen. They put sonar systems in place because of that now. So although people go, oh, the television's catastrophic and it's showing a lot more, it's because of that tsunami that we are able to connect and help in a lot quicker. And regions and countries meet one another a lot quicker because of this sonar system that was immediately placed because of that catastrophic event. Whereas sort of years before that, it could be days before news started getting through. And then what? You know, whereas there's always the positive comes out of everything, isn't there?
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you.
I would never have known that about you at all by just chatting with you at a meeting, which I do hope to get to soon. And
why don't you come? Why don't you come next week?
Yeah, you've just for people watching the wonderful world of well-being. How's that getting on?
Well, it's the same like most businesses. It was a live company. We ran live festivals, live networking meetings. We've transitioned all the networking online, and the live festivals. We're looking at building a portal so everybody can come online. So it will be like a beautiful department store full of these gorgeous well-being offerings of many different types, like we would have in our live festivals, but we can actually open it more. And the prospects for the who would be my immediate clients, exhibitors, all these professionals and experts we've got in our field, will be able to reach the world because of that, not just one festival. And I can see that as being a permanent, ongoing thing. And then the live festivals will re-emerge when it's safe to do so and the time's right. And just adjusting to the climate. You know, it's for us as a company, it's brought out a different way of thinking, like everybody's doing, or most people are, and just finding the right way forward, and without the need to rush to fix anything. Because what's going to happen as we start to emerge and come out, well-being is going to be a key worker. So it's truly important we get the right.
You truly are the wonderful world of well-being, and it will embrace lots of people, won't it?
Be there is a lot of opportunities now, but it's framing and bringing that together like we would normally do in a live setting for the broader picture, and so that people can come to access it all in one place rather than surfing here, there and everywhere and thinking, oh my goodness, you know, we've got a brilliant trusted brand that stands in its own right because of the trusted professionals that we have within that, and it does change lives. So it just makes complete sense to bring it online and provide that platform for those professionals to come together again to offer all the services that we do online.
Yeah, great. I'll keep my eyes open and peeled as where you're up to. But for
Fantastic.
Now, thank you very much for your time.
Fiona, it's been an absolute pleasure. I didn't actually know what to expect, because you know me, I can just be in the moment, and it's been lovely. I've really appreciated this. Thank you very much.
And I'll hopefully hook up with you soon, one way, shape or form.
Absolutely. All right, then take care.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.